everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's me again, Arian, coming to you live from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. So it's April 15, 2025, around 5:30 p.m. here. So magandang umaga sa mga nasa Pilipinas, 5:30 a.m. dyan sa Pilipinas. But I hope you can tune in today because today we have a very special guest, actually guests rather. So before anything else, I would like to introduce myself first. Again, I'm Arian and I'm a Filipina immigrant based here in Windsor, Ontario with my husband and two kids. So I used to be an SAP programmer, a software engineer back in Manila for 12 years, but we moved here in 2022 to start anew, for a fresh start. And I started as a student, juggled multiple jobs, and of course, since Canada is very expensive, we had to find a way to supplement our income. And so I found this online business, and here I am helping struggling parents build a smarter income stream with a semi-automated online business so that they can enjoy more precious moments with their family. Yeah. I hope you will enjoy the discussion for today because again I have very special guests. But before I call them out here in the screen, let me just show you a video. They posted this in their page, so I know that it's okay to show this. So I just want you to have an idea like who these people are. Okay. So hold on. I hope you can see that. Okay, hold on. I think we don't have a sound. Is that right? Let me just stop screen and share again. Okay. I'm not sure why I can't share the. Hold on. Okay, let's see. I couldn't see that screen. Wait a sec. Sorry, coaches. Hold on a sec. Oh, there it is. Oh, but I can. Okay. There it is. I hope you can see this, guys.
Okay, we're gonna call our mortgage.
There you go.
You call me, this is Christian. How can I help you?
We're just calling here to find out the process of paying off our mortgage.
Okay, Roxanne. So you're calling today to pay out the mortgage?
Yes.
Okay. Are you planning on paying it with your own money? Are you selling your home?
Own money. Own savings,
money,
yeah.
Okay. So to do that, what you would need to do is send a request by email.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What are you doing?
I got the money
For what?
for the mortgage. Pay off the balance. 149,000. the last remaining balance.
Here we go.
Yay! Thank you, Lord.
Amazing.
Here we go. Our mortgage. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yay! Mortgage free. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Woo! Mortgage free. Yay!
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. To
God be the glory. We're mortgage free. Woo!
All right. So I guess because I'm really very inspired by that video, because I watched also the previous video wherein they were having struggles with their home. They were getting evicted and they were drowning in debt. But that was one very motivating and inspiring video. And so, without further ado, please help me welcome my very special guests, our coaches Dave and Roxanne. Hello, coaches. Sorry about that. Technical issues we have.
Yeah, thank you, Aryan. Thanks for having us here and for showing that it gives us theory eyes.
Yeah, it just reminds us of how the journey that we've been on. So thank you. It's an honor
Thank
to be.
you. Thank you, coaches, for saying yes to this interview. So, our topic for today is about from surviving to thriving, a Christian couple's journey to faith and freedom. And you are already like six-figure earners in this business. From that, moment when wherein you were struggling up to now that you are already thriving in this online business. That's such an inspiring story, and we want to know more about it. So, can you take us back to that moment first? Because we know that all of us here, we didn't start on a high note. Like we're not really rich people, and that's that we have our own reasons on why we want to do this business. So let's go back to that moment. And I know it's a very low moment for you guys. What kept you going even when things felt like they were falling apart?
Yeah, for the people that are tuning in, live or replay, we started the business back in 2018. And at that point, we already failed in 24 businesses. And as a result, we got into $86,000 in consumer debt. We almost gave up. And it was a turning point that Roxanne prayed this very powerful prayer, right?
Yeah, I asked God to heal our finances, to lead us to the right opportunity. And when we prayed that, I was open to anything. I was open actually to going back to school. I was open to maybe I was thinking that maybe entrepreneurship is not for us, right? But sometimes deep in our hearts, we knew that entrepreneurship is the best way. And months later, that's when Dave saw an ad in Facebook about starting an online business. So it took him many, many months to convince me. But what inspired me is those people that are immigrants like us, people that are older than us, have multiple jobs, have more kids than us. At the time, we didn't have our son yet, and they're getting the results that we wanted. So what really kept us going, I think, is the promise that I made to my parents, like a long time ago, that I will retire them. So they cheered for us, they supported us in every single businesses that we've tried, and they believe in us. I think if you have a strong why more than yourself, then it will keep you going to move forward.
Yeah, and the next one is, which Roxanne already said, is that when you begin something, you really don't have a belief in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So we really borrowed our belief from the people that have gone before us.
Yeah.
And that we just kept going into our Facebook community and got inspired, every, day at a time, every week at a time. And, it's like it builds up, because there's only two things you can build in your mindset. Either you can create faith building messages so your faith and belief increases,
Mm-hmm.
or I call it CNN, which is constant negative news, right? That releases your faith in what you're going to do. So we borrowed our belief in the beginning. We had a very strong why, and I think it's also by the grace of God that
Mm-hmm.
He led us to this opportunity, and that's what kept us going. So thanks be to God, we didn't quit.
Amazing. I can actually totally relate to that because I was also kind of just a bit skeptical as well. Of course, it's new to me as well, kahit na IT. Even though I'm an IT professional, digital marketing, of course, what we do here is still very different from that. But you know why? I just wanted to mention as well that I really love the community that you built here because it's a faith-based leadership, and that's what I also always tell in my Go Live sessions, that this is a community that you cannot see anywhere else. It's very different here. So given that you found this online business, did you ever doubt that this could work for you? Because a lot of people are skeptical, right?
Yeah, the thing about our journey, and I always tell people, people want the glory, but they don't know the real story. Like failure becomes it's like a muscle sometimes, right? It's hard for people to bounce back up if this is their first business. If they fail something,
Mhm.
it's hard to bounce back up. But for us, um, I always tell people when preparation meets opportunity, that's when success happens. Like in entrepreneurship, is like it's a transferable skill. So we have done a lot of personal development before going into this business, and from what we've read, successful people have failed many times, and I always tell people that failure is a necessary road to success. So we just knew that we were closer than we think, and
Mhm.
yeah, yes, doubt came to our mind, but again, those stories kept us going, right?
Yeah, I think in the beginning, most of the people that starts, if they're not skeptical, is they're really excited, right? So, when we started, like after my skepticism died down, right? I got excited. So, we start right away. We learn new skills. I think we were in like 6 months or on our fifth month that we started to advertise in Facebook, and we're not getting the results that we wanted. So I doubted. I actually told Dave, maybe it's not for us. Let's stop. Let's stop doing this. And I got scared, right? But then Dave reminded me that, hey, this is our commitment. This is what we told ourselves, that this is our budget. This is our, no matter what, we're gonna stick to it, right? Of course, we had to test, we have to change, we have to learn new skills, learn new how to optimize and all that. And the good thing, he reminded me, he said, we're not gonna lower it, we're not gonna increase it, right? And good thing, after a couple of weeks, that's when results came in. So imagine if I stop there. I think that was like around March or April of 2019. If we stop, then where would we be? We're still going to be stuck in a job and not having the freedom, right? So doubts will come, but I think reminding yourself, if like, I'm just grateful that I have him, because sometimes it's hard if it's just you, right? But that's why, if you're by yourself, or find a way, like the group is a lot of like amazing positive online business owners. So we always encourage people to make friends, right? Because it's easy to give up on yourself, but it's not easy to give up on a friend,
Yeah.
right? So once you make friends in the community, then you have that accountability, that maybe that group that will encourage you, or maybe you can encourage them if they're feeling down. So I think that really helps us.
Yeah, and the one of the keys to success in our online business is to stay plugged in,
Mhm.
because you need to build your hope, because sometimes, and not just our business, but every entrepreneurial journey is
Mhm.
not easy, right? So that's why 95%, if you extend it over 10 years, don't make it, right? In entrepreneurship. But what's unique about our community is there's a group of people that are doing the same thing, and they can be encouraging. So if you're stay plugged in, like we talked about a cell phone analogy, right? You run out of the battery because throughout the week you're doing the business, you might not see the result yet, so you're losing that hope battery, and then you get plugged in again, listen to our millionaire mastermind, listen to the stories of people that have made it,
Mhm.
right? You're charged up again and you keep going, right? So if you stay plugged in long enough, you'll be so charged up
Mhm.
that you'll be the one charging other people in time, right? That's the thing. So
That's so true. I found friends in this online business as well, and it's so hard to keep on going if you're just alone. So
Yeah.
you can't really do this alone.
Mm.
But just to mention also that if you stop, we're not here.
Yeah.
Thank
Not
you.
here, coaches. So thank you for not stopping. Let's just say hello to them. Hello, Martha. Hello to you and our coaches, Dave and Roxanne, here from California.
Okay.
Coaches, greetings. Okay, you're both amazing, so encouraging, really. Okay. So, yeah, going back, we've discussed all of those, like, uh, what you answered this question, but just a little bit about our online business. Can you tell us about our online business so that our audience, our viewers, can at least relate to what we're saying?
Yeah. So the thing about some people ask us like what do we do, right? So just the very basic is we help people that want to start an online business by giving them the tools, the training, the mentorship, and the products, right? And the if you were to put a picture, because if you do that, sometimes people think in pictures, right? If
Mhm.
there's no picture, you're like, oh, what are they talking about? So the clearest picture I could tell people what it's like, it's kind of like a franchise but online, right? The reason why people buy a franchise, not because like, for example, McDonald's, they have the best burgers. You can probably cook a better burger. But the question is, can you run $1 million restaurant? That's the question.
Mhm.
And the reason why people buy it is because they have a proven system on how to run this successful online business. And they provide you with everything, the logo, they allow you to use the proprietary systems of how to run a successful restaurant. There's coaching. In fact, I worked in McDonald's when I was in high school. You go to Hamburger U, right? And then you run a store. So similar to online, because when you start an online business, if you do it on your own, like you have to really put the pieces
Yeah.
together, right? You might find the best product. Like let's say it take you months and months to find the best product. The next step is now you have to create a website, right? And you might like have the best website now. The problem's next step is how do you market it?
Mm.
And let's say you found training on marketing. Now you launch your marketing. Then now how is it gonna work? Like how, is my campaign working? Like all that pieces, right? So we're putting it all together so that you don't have to look for everywhere, and it's already there, like a franchise, one stop to start an online business from scratch. And that's really at the gist of it. That's what we do, right? So you don't have to find all those things. It's already here for you. And I think the biggest piece is the mentor and the coach, because
Yeah.
you know um starting a business, again, it's not easy. But if you have like it's kind of like hiking, and when you go to the top of a mountain that you've never climbed before, it will take you probably a long time. But if you have a guide that's been to the top, right, he can tell you like where the twists and turns, maybe the shortcuts to get up there, because you're with a guide. And that's the biggest piece, I think, that really helps in this whole thing, right?
Mm.
Thank you, Coach Dave, for explaining that. Para hindi sila lost. Ayan. So, fast forward to now, coaches. And what surprised you the most during your journey or transition into, going digital, having a digital business?
There's actually two things, and that's what people are here for. For me, I'm surprisingly the amount of income you can make if you really stick to this thing, because momentum is hard to get in business, but when the momentum hits, you can't. It's like I always tell people, like a snowball, right? It starts as a snowflake, then another flake. But if you're consistently adding a flake, it becomes a small ball,
Mhm.
and it becomes this bigger ball, and all of a sudden it becomes this snowball that you cannot stop. And that's how our business works, right? Like it's like so hard to get that snow. But if you're consistently doing, right, sometimes our mind gets blown when our yearly income becomes our monthly income. It's just it's mind blowing. That's the first. The second thing that's surprising to me is the amount of income you can make with a little time you spend in business, 3 4 5 years down the road, because you've done all the work, like because of all the systems that we have. Like we used to work 40 hours a week. I mean, that's what we used to do. I mean, we work less than 10 hours maybe in a week, and we make the amount of income we make. It's just, for me, that's still mind blowing, surprising to me.
Yeah, I think that's really true. Like when we started, we just saw like the income and all that, but we didn't really know what it means to have that kind of freedom. I think it's the time freedom and the financial peace that you get from working on this business. It's really worth it for us, and for a lot of people, right? Like, so when we started this online business, we were working full time still, right? So most of the people here that starts this business, it's part time in the beginning. So we work this business on our weekday, in our lunch breaks, snacks, or our break time. After work in the weeknights and weekends, right? So in the beginning, you put a lot of work in there, right? So that like the results will come, right? But then after that, I think after like in our first year, second year, that's when second year, third year, that's when momentum comes, as long as you don't give up, right? If you don't, you just keep doing the income producing activities, right? And so for us, like, we have more time now. I think what really surprised me is, because other businesses that we tried, the more income you make, the more stressed you are, the more busy you are.
The less
But
time you have.
yeah, but here, because of the system, because it's online, right? So now that we are in this stage of our business, now we have more time. And sometimes we not feel guilty, but it's just you don't know what to do. Like, you're spending more time with your family. You have more time with the things that you love the most, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's really surprised me, because of course income, that's what we're hoping for all the time, especially in the beginning. But then after that, you have more time that you can make.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
the word leverage really is alive online. Like,
Mhm.
leverage is the ability to do more with less, right? If you're efficient, right? So it's like, it's mind blowing how to see it right in front of you, because when you work, right, there's so less leverage because it's your time and your muscles. That's all you can have, right? And there's only really 16 hours maybe, or 18 hours a day max to work, but you still make way less because there's no leverage, right? So with this, like, it's so interesting how leverage can work in your life if you have the right systems, the right people that can guide you. Because yeah, it's just mind blowing for me.
Yes, what an amazing system, right? Because for me as an IT professional, actually that's what got me here. So it's because of the automated systems, and then of course since it's been running for like almost 10 years now, we always say success leaves clues, right? Success leaves footprints, and so we will just like follow the leaders, and then we know we're sure to get there. So right now, coaches, right now, since you are now earning like 5 figures, 4 or 5 figures, living life on your own terms, how does that feel? And what does your day to day look like
Yeah.
now compared to before?
Yeah, I joke around that when I got into this world of business, is that because I had a sickness called alarm clockitis. When I used to be an engineer, right? I hated my job because I wasn't good at it. Engineering is a good profession, but if you're not good at it, then so I would wake up. The alarm clock would surprise me. I would turn it off. I just don't want to go to work, and I forgot that I turned it off, and all of a sudden it rings, and I would throw the alarm clock, right? But nowadays we sleep and we wake up when we want to wake up, right? Anytime we want to wake up. We do create our daily routines, but there's so much flexibility. Like, I mean, the other day, our son wanted, because we do still bring our son to the daycare because we wanted time for ourselves. But if we want to keep our son, which our goal is to keep him like 4 days a week, and then we can, and also like going on dates with him where there's no limits, where the time wise and things we can do. I mean, he wants to go to the zoo, we have membership at the zoo. He wants to go to Telesis, we have membership here. He wants to the YMCA, we have membership. Like, we have membership everywhere because there's no limits and time and money, and it's just incredible the amount of flexibility you can have, right?
Yeah, and also I think I think the best thing for me personally is really the time, because you can have more money, you can always replace it if you lose it, but you can never have more time. You can
Yeah.
never have replace that time that you lost, right? So having that kind of like daily time with our son, like because like we actually pay for like a full time for his daycare, right? For like
Oh, we barely bring him
he's
there.
now in his preschool, like almost preschool, 5 days a week, for example. But then we only bring him there twice or 3 times a week. But every time, like, you know, like supposedly he can go there like 8 o'clock, 8 to 6, or you know what I mean. But we go there like like 11 or 10:30, and we will just let them know, right? I think the flexibility of that, because we're not really in a rush. Like when we wake up in the morning, we can cuddle with him, or you know, if we want to like sleep in because we slept late, right? So I think that's really the most that what we love about it. We're not in a hurry. We always have that time for breakfast with him, because even though it's free in, you know, it's included in the daycare, the lunch, the breakfast, and all that, we still have the time with him. And also, like, because sometimes that's why we do the interviews, for example, only Tuesday, for example, every Tuesday, so that we can give back to the community. And then the rest of the days of the week, we do our, you know, like for business or our creation. The rest is personal, so you can really plan out. Yeah, like what surprised me, or like, you know, the other things that surprised me is, you know, after doing this business, after, like for me, 29 months, after 29 months, I was able to quit my corporate job in finance. For him, took him about 14
14 months.
months.
Yeah.
So you can really quit your job if that's what you want, with some people. But of course, some people love their jobs. They can keep that, and they have that extra or more money than their full-time jobs, right? So you can really design your life around that. Like, and also like we have family coming over in July, right? So we can just have that full month of just being with them, right? And last year we were in the Philippines, in Asia, for 3 months. So like having that online business, like we can work anytime as well. So you really can do so much for your life, for your business, for your personal life and family life together. And that's the beauty about it.
And the last thing, one of the biggest reasons we also, other than retiring Roxanne's mom, is like we were in ministry for a long time, and the ministry needs money. Like if you're running something, right? And our fantasy was always that if the ministry needed something, we can just give it. And it's incredible because one of the beautiful thing about having more money is it expands who you are, right? If you're a giver, you just give more. If you want to treat people, you just treat more. And it's amazing. When the ministry needs something, we can now give it because of the blessing of the online business. I mean, we shared this before, that the ministry wanted to send 6 young people to a conference in the US, church planting conference, but they could only afford 3. And we said, we have extra income. We're just going to sponsor 3 flights and accommodation because we can. Right? The ministry needed like T-shirts for volunteers. We sponsored it. I mean, we can now. There was a brother that came new to Canada. He needed a car. We're gonna go home to the Philippines for 3 months. He said we'll just give our car because we're not gonna be here for 3 months anyway. So that's the kind of flexibility you have once you really put in the work. Again, I'm not sugarcoating this. If you're watching this, you're like, wow, I can have that. You have to pay the price, right? There's a price you need to pay. And if you take it seriously, it will pay you seriously. The problem I see people is when they do an online business, they don't put the time like they would put in school or their work, right? If they would just put the same amount of time and effort while their work, like similar to their job or where they're going to school so they can graduate, they would get paid seriously. We're only like here 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the lifetime income we would probably both make in our careers. Like, it's just mind blowing the leverage it's possible here. So
I guess coach yung the one you mentioned before about McDonald's, like if you're going to get a franchise, that's going to be longer if you're going to wait for that to get an ROI and all of those things. But here in our business, being here for 6 years, that's the impact in your life, right? It's massive already. So
yeah, it's truly like a legitimate career path now. Like, it's not a concept. Back in the days, like, oh, maybe I will do online. It's just one of those techie people. No, it's like nobody came out of the womb and said, I'm going to become a nurse. I'm going to become a doctor, right? Like, but because we were so programmed in school that these are the path, right? But now online, I'm telling you, I'm going to program you right now. If you're watching this, online is a path. In fact, it's a way better path than my engineering and her finance, because we have free, like we're free. We don't work for a company for the next 20 to 30 years of our lives, paying, earning just enough so we go back, right? They call a job just over broke, so that they pay you enough so you go back over and over, right? I learned this in the business. But like the online space, you can really start now, less than a franchise, less than a 4-year degree, and can earn more when 4 years later. Because the reason I'm saying that is because that's our experience. But again, if you put in the work, that's the key. That's the key, because it's not some side thing you just do, right? That's the key. So
Yes, exactly. And we start here usually for our families, right? Usually to help our families, especially for us immigrants, to help
mm,
our families back home, and then for us as immigrants here to be stable, right? But I'm gonna ask you, coaches, how has this business changed you, not just financially but personally?
yeah, not just this business, but the journey itself. A lot of people do not know that one of the requirements of becoming a successful entrepreneur is to completely change you from the inside first. Because if you change the inside, the outside will come. So what I mean by that is, like, there's a lot of skill sets that you think you didn't have, but when you are forced into a situation, you have. Like, for example, I didn't. If people meet me in high school, they would see me in the corner hiding because I was very shy, right? But one of the requirements in the online space is, you do videos, right? The first time you do it, you're so scared, but everything you want. If you're watching this live, but everything you want is just a little bit outside of your comfort zone. There are things that God placed in you that you don't know, right? It's actually in there, but if you try, or if you put in an environment, right, the gold will come out of you, right? And you have skills that you have no idea it's within you, but you were not put in an environment. There's some people that we have mentored in the beginning. They were so shy, didn't have confidence. From the books they've read, from the things that have tried, to the challenge that we have, they're a completely different person. Like, I didn't know who you were. You were hiding in Facebook before. You gave us a different profile, like Katrina, for example, a different profile. And today she's such an incredible, inspirational, like, it's just amazing, right? So it changes you as a person, because now you have to become a better person, right? Because you become a mentor and a coach, right?
Yeah, and also for me, like I used to be a very negative person, and like I'm not a very positive person. I'm not a grateful person before, but because of the personal development that I learned, I started to do gratitude. I started to read books, right? So I became like, your friends will, or the people closest to you will actually experience different you, right? So when I went home, this is a long time ago, my friends told me that, oh, you're such a positive person now. I was like, what? Like, you mean like I'm negative person before? So I really didn't know that I've changed, right? So over time, because of the personal development, the business, the you've grown, right? So because of the books that you're reading, the people that you met, the people, the masterminds, the sessions, right? I think that really changed us, not just financially, and also like I also learned to be more faithful, to be more generous, to be more kind because of the people that you met, right? You realize that you're actually blessed, like, because sometimes you think that your problem is this big, but if you talk to people, your problem is too small, right? So things like that, it's really like make a big difference. So when you go into this kind of journey, entrepreneurship and business, personal development, you will become a different person, a better version of yourself that you never knew it will happen, right? And also, like, for me, I was um like, I'm not very good in videos as well. I was very when I met him, he's a great speaker already. I like, I've seen him, like, I didn't see him like very shy, but for me, I was very conscious. So when we started doing videos before, like, I would be very mad at him because he would just turn it on and all that. And for me, I was very, I want like bullet points. I want to know what to say and all that. I was conscious about my face. And then later on, I overcome that. I realized people don't care. What they care is what can you give them, like what's in it for
Value.
them, right? What value can you what words can you encourage them, right? So really people have their own problems too, right? So I realized it's not about me, it's about the people that we're talking to, right? So things like that, you overcome those insecurities, right?
Yeah, and again, other than the income, the biggest benefit is the people you associate with.
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest predictor of where you are going to be financially, if the finances is your goal 5 years from now, is the books you read and the people you associate with.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest predictor, your environment, right? So if you're in the same environment over and over for the last 10 years, 10 years from now, it's going to be the same. So the best way is to put yourself in that environment. And again, this is the only environment that I was, that you could be close to 6 figure, 7 figure earners, right? That will be guiding you. Because ask yourself, you're watching this live replay, for us, when we ask ourselves, who do you know, is an entrepreneur that's making 6 or 7 figures, that's going to guide you or coach you within your circle. For most people, they don't, right? Because we don't, like you said, we didn't grow up rich, right? But if you plug yourself into an online environment, you now have access immediately, right, to these people on a weekly, on a monthly basis, which is incredible. So
Coach, every time that you are speaking, you both, like, you are so inspiring, so motivating. When I watch, just to mention, when I watch your Zoom huddles, your trainings, we always get fired up. And I think I mean, everything that you said are all proof that you've passed those on to us, like the books that we read, the podcasts that we watch, and it's such a great journey to have, because it's like, it's not just about the financial benefits, right? Not just about the business itself, but it's also personal growth. And and for me, I was also like Coach Dave. I was very, very shy. I mean, if you saw me when I was in high school, like, I couldn't even raise my
oh
Wow, that's
wow.
amazing.
and this has changed me a lot already in the past, like, almost 2 years. I'm only been here for almost 2 years. So yeah, so thank you for that, coaches. I think we have some comments in here. Hello, watching live. There you go. Right. And I hope, guys, you are taking notes, because these are, like, high earners in the business, and they've already shared a lot of golden nuggets. So we're almost at the end of our session here. But for our last question here, what is your most favorite? I know you've mentioned a lot earlier, but what was your most favorite harvest or benefit that you received through this online business, just to inspire others more before we end this?
I think for me personally is that when I married Roxanne, I always told her, like, I want to retire you. I keep telling her, almost there, almost there.
Yeah.
But 24 businesses later, like, I failed her for 24 businesses. I told her, this is it, this is it. And thanks be to God, I convinced her one more time that this is gonna be it, right? On the 25th time, and she still supported me. And I think for me, the biggest harvest is that, I was able, we're able to find an opportunity together, right? And did it together, grew together, and be able to become financially free.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Like yeah, because he's the one that quit his job first. So like we always imagine this, that he's gonna pick me up from my work, and I'm gonna shout and scream, I'm boss free, right? Yeah, so it happened, right? I was 5 months pregnant, so I don't have to wait my ninth month or 8th month to quit my to leave my job. And then after 1 year, I told, like, because my manager was asking, "Hey, are you coming back?" And I said, of course, I thank him. I thank my manager. I said, our online business is doing well, so I'm not coming back. So it's been it's been 4 years now that I've been boss free, and he's been 5 years that he's been boss free. So all our income comes solely from the online business. I think that's the most amazing thing. And also just being able to buy a home on our 3rd year in the business, or 2021, we bought a new home. And then in under 3 years, we were able to pay that off. So we wouldn't be able to pay $500,000 of of house if we don't have the online business, because our job is just enough, right? And lastly is, finally I was able to help my parents in their retirement. So my parents are not working anymore. We were able to surprise my mom, my
On her
parents,
60th birthday.
yeah, on her 60th birthday, that hey, you can quit your job now. He thought, because I put a permanent vacation on the card, that hey, happy birthday, you're now gonna have a permanent vacation. And she was asking, oh, where are we going for vacation, because we always bring them and treat them for vacation. But I said it's permanent vacation, so it didn't really click on them until like we told them, hey, you can quit your job, you don't have to.
She's supposed to retire at 65 from
yeah.
the bank, and she uh, retired 5 years early. And yeah, now she's just everywhere. Philippines. She's now in the U.S. She's living the life.
Yeah, she's enjoying her time
Her mom.
with her mom, right? Because her dad passed away recently, my grandpa, and then now she's there, and of course she comes with us as well. Like she watch our son as well. She spends time with our son and the other grandkids, or travel to Philippines and all that. So it's good to see them, like, because that's really my greatest in 2007 when I found the business, like entrepreneurship. That's my goal, is to retire them, and it took 16 years to finally give them that retirement. But it's really worth it to see them happy and enjoying while they're young and they're healthy, right? So that's the most, I think, beautiful thing that we got from the online business.
Wow, wow. I could only imagine the wonderful feeling that is. And a lot of us, baby business owners here are
Yeah.
also dreaming about that. We just have to be really consistent and follow you guys, your footprints here in this online business. Would you have any final thoughts for our viewers or audience for tonight?
Yeah, so if you're watching this live replay, I always believe in this. There are no accidents.
Mhm.
It's only a divine appointment. You saw this because there's a reason, right? A message here, an idea here, or more importantly, a solution that's for you. In 2018, we were just praying for something. An ad came up, right? That wasn't an accident. And here's the thing: when you pray for something, God will only give you a divine appointment.
Mhm.
It's up to you to keep that appointment. How do you do that? You take action. And when you take action, you stick to the decision, right? Until you get the job done. If you're watching this and you're already within a community, you prayed for something, you're already here, you stick to it, you grow with it, and then you get the job done. That's my message to people that are watching.
Yeah, and also just to add on that, whatever dreams you have, right? Maybe you want to treat your family, bring them to vacations, because that's what our prayers, and it happened to us. Retire your parents, maybe retire your husband, your wife, or your spouse, maybe, whatever that is, give more to the ministry. If you have that dream, right? Whatever that is, God will always provide all the resources, the time, the money, the talents that you need, the connections that you need. So even if you don't have that yet, believe that you can have it, because he will always redirect you. And if you're watching this, we have that free workshop. Go to Arian's website there, and the good thing about it is a free workshop, and we do offer a 30 days money back guarantee if you decide this is not for you. But the cool thing is, for a lot of people, this is their answer prayer. It may be for you, and you'll have amazing mentors and coaches to support you in this journey.
Wow, wow. What a powerful testimony, right? Of faith, grit, and grace. Thank you so much, Coaches Dave and Roxanne. Thank you for always reminding us that even when, life feels like it's falling apart, God is still working behind the scenes, preparing us for something greater. So, friends, if you're in a season of surviving right now, you're trying to hold it together, praying for your breakthrough, and wondering if there's more to life than just bills, burnout, and busy schedules. I hope, you found your sign. You found your sign. So there is more to life, definitely. A look at the life right now of Coaches Dave and Roxanne, and you are free to start over. Even ordinary people, guys like you and me, we can thrive in this online business. So if today's story touched you, tag someone who needs to hear this, or if you're ready to take the leap, explore what this business is about, just register in our website or message me. And no pressure, it's just real talk. Because you deserve a life of freedom, purpose, and peace. And I believe in God's perfect timing. It's never too late to build it. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night. I'll see you on our next live. God bless us all. Bye for now.
Bye.